welcome back to my channel. Lovely to have you here again. We're here for part 3. I hope that you are all excited. All right, so we're going to get started. Today I hope to cover us fitting in the envelope section and show you how I go about putting that together. So that's the aim, but what I wanted to do as well is prepare the actual cover with the sealant that I use, just so that you know, well, for those of you who don't know how to do that, because I know I'll get the question. So if you don't need to see this part, obviously you can fast forward and then go to the part further down where I'm actually doing the rest. All right, so this is mostly, I suppose, for the newbies out there. Now, you would have made one of these covers earlier. Goes that way around, sorry. And I just wanted to talk you through how I go about sealing this. So that's what I'm going to do really quickly. Give that a chance to dry while we carry on with the rest of the actual cover. All right, so this needs to be done. What I use is I use my little distress brush. I love these. They come in a pack of 3. This is the middle one and really lovely to use. I'm going to use Ranger Multi Medium Matte Medium. This is a great product. You can use Mod Podge. All right, so you don't have to use this. You might have a different way to seal that, but for me, I like this. I like this because it not only seals it, it's also acid free, and it's also great for gluing. It's multifunctional and it works for me. So this is what I'm going to use on here. So we're just going to open that up. It's a new one, so there we go. And then what we're going to do is you want to lay your file out as flat as possible. As flat as possible. When it dries, I let it do its thing because that's fine. But for the purposes of painting this today, I'll probably end up speeding this up. But I just want to show you how I go. So you want to dip your brush in there, not too far down. And you want to just start at the corner and try and get these strokes as even as possible. All right, so go straight up to the top. We're only going to do the front side here, and you want to just keep going at it and try and get the brush strokes in one direction, you know, so whichever way you decide to do that. Okay, now it might look like the paper is bubbling or whatever, but you're always able to deal with that afterwards. My end result was pretty good. Okay, so I will end up speeding this up so you can just watch me as I go about finishing this. Okay, so we have completed that now. It does look a bit bubbly, but I was able to smooth it with my hand afterwards, so don't worry about that. You know, just let it dry. I leave it for about half an hour or more. You know, the longer the better, and just let it do its own thing like that way. And obviously I just do the one side. There's no need to do the inside. Just going to protect it, waterproof it, seal it, and really look after it, so that it'll all come right in the end. All right, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put that aside and we're going to carry on with the rest of what we do. So we've done that. I've just put it aside. I've sort of bent it over like a little carton that I had in the post, so a little box, just to let it bend and dry, slightly bent, so that will just take a while to dry properly. Probably not really a while, but I just leave it as I'm going on. All right, ladies, let's get on with the rest of what we're doing today. So I'm going to get you to put this little bit together and hopefully show you how I see how far we get about attaching that today. All right, so let's just take this apart. These are 2 envelopes we're going to use for the back part. We've got the one for the front, and then this little one here. So that is the order of things. Just checking that I have got it in the right order here. Okay, and then of course you want your CD envelope. Keep all these flaps to the left. So we've got that one. That's going to go on there like that. That's going to go on there like that. And we just keep, I'm just getting them all in the correct order of how I want them. so there. And then we've got the square one that's going to come after that, and then the big one at the very back as well. Right, so that's the order that we'll have them, and then these two envelopes come at the very end. Now what you want to do is you want to start layering these up, and I'm going to start from the bottom. All right, so that's what I'm going to do there. I've got this flap to the left. All right, so we want to open that up. And what we want to do is we now want to take the next layer, which is this square one. And what I did was I lifted that up and I just kept the flaps, fitted this flap inside that flap at the bottom there, and I closed that down. Then I'll just turn it over and I'm going to glue this to this one over here. So I'm going to take my 3-in-1 here, just in case. It just gives me a little bit more time to make sure that everything is stuck. So where the art glitter gives you like a second, this gives me a few more seconds. So I'm just going to put the glue onto this one here, one of the sides. I'm going to be able to then fold this over, and I'm doing it this way so that I don't have anything that's, you know, not going to lie flat when I go this way. Okay, so we've got the first two together there, so that's good. And now we want to take the next one. The next one is this one here. So just make sure that your baby one is on, you know, like that and not like that. So go like that, and now we want to place this one on here. So this is also at the bottom. So we want to just lie that like that, make sure that it's not going to extend beyond the bottom. So go like that. You can always put your clips on, but you know, if you're not sure, like at the bottom here. And again, we're going to just put the glue on that one flap. All right. Again, just flap that over. Make sure that you stick it down like that. There we go. And you can just double check before it sets properly that that's where you want it. So we've got those three together now. Right, now the next one is your CD envelope. That's going to go at the top there. So we want it to not exceed the top of this one, like that. So just hold that in place. Clip it. Don't clip the flap down, but just keep it in place like that. And methodically, we're just putting them all together this way. So some more glue. Okay. Right, and then fold that over onto the flaps that are collecting here. Okay, so that should be in place. There we go. Getting there. Right, now we've got the big window envelope here. And again, this will go straight across. So line it up, take one of the sides and tap it. The length of this one should be the same as this big one at the back. Put a clip on there. We can put a clip on the other side as well. Just because it gets thicker and thicker, they do tend to want to move. Now, this one did have one of these sticky thingies. So again, we're going to put more glue on here. Like that. And we will just press that over nicely. There we go. Right. Take the clips off. And we've got the last little one here. Oh, I should have just held on to one of those clips. We're going to put this at the top. Okay, so pretty near the top there. Sort of like that. Just lining it up. Yeah. Okay. And then we can just stick the last one down like that. Now we've got decorations that we need to do, but we will get to that. You can do that once this is stuck together. I don't normally do that, but I know people are etching at the bit here. Chomping at the bit is the terminology, I should say, for me to show you how I do the main bit of attaching this, so we can always come back and decorate everything. For me, I like to do it before, but it's not required, so that's fine. Okay, so as you can see now, we've got all of these envelopes together. These are all as they need to be in the order. And now what we have at the back here is a big flap. Let's just put one of these on here to keep this lot together, I think. We've got a big flap at the back here. Now what I did was I covered that, so I'm going to just show you how I go about cutting that piece out. Right, so this one here, we want to lie it in just underneath. Sorry, this does get a bit fiddly, so bear with me. 2 clips. Put it on the top, get it to lie right against the edge there and that edge there, and clip it in place. So I've just got that at the top, clip it towards the bottom there, and then the same over here, clip it towards the bottom there like that. Now what you want to do is grab your pencil. Where is my pencil? Here it is. Grab your pencil, and you can see now the edges that you need to go around. So with this one, I'll move that in a minute. So let's just do this bit first, because you want this piece of paper to fit the biggest envelope there. All right, so we've now got that on that bit. I just can run my pencil along there, and then the same along here. Well, that one doesn't have an edge, but I will round it off. Okay, so there we have our first piece. So that's just the underside of my paper, which ran out of yellow ink, so I just printed on the other side. Okay, so what I want to do here is we want to cut this out, so that's easy enough. This is now going to be your little template. Now everybody's envelopes are different, so it's pointless me giving you measurements for this, but just follow the lines of your envelope. So I'm going to just round that off like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this over like this, just because I had to cut off the top of my envelope here, which has left me with a straight edge. So now I'm just going like this and following the edge on the opposite side, just to give me a similar look. So now we've got it the same on both sides, and I will trim that bit once I've stuck this down. Okay, now what we want to do is we want something to go on the underside of this. So it's just a case of me taking a scrap piece. You can see I've done it here already for the other one, and lining that up nicely and drawing my pencil marks around this piece. Okay everybody, so I have now cut out these 2 pieces. You are welcome to go and ink that. I will probably do that afterwards. Now I'm going to take this little strip off, just because that was on the envelope. Using my glue again, I want to just run it around this paper, the edge of this paper, get it all ready. And then all you want to do is just trim these edges, just so that we've got a nice edge on both sides. So I'm just trimming that off nicely, and I've got a little bit of it's easier this way, I think. So what I'm going to do here is, with the last bit, I just want to grab my faithful knife, because that'll ensure I get a nice clean edge here. So let's just do that. There we go. All right, so there we've got that, and I will end up inking that in a bit. So what you want to do is, this does become really stiff, but what you want to do is just make sure that you start edging that over. So I've got my fingers just in here and I'm working that over like that. All right, so that's looking better. Like that. Okay, now to do the other side, I'm just going to lie it flat. It doesn't go right to the bottom, it doesn't matter because you're not going to see it, but again I'm going to just put the glue on here, and you can just watch me. I'll speed this up slightly. It doesn't matter that it doesn't go to the edge here, you won't end up seeing that bit. Just want to move that slightly over. There we go. That's what I love about 3-in-1. You've got a little bit of maneuver time. There we go. So there we go. That will be on the underside of our folio. And I really should have cut this a bit shorter. I might actually do that. So this is where you've got to be careful, ladies. Be careful. You don't want to cut the whole flap off. I'm doing this really gently. That's why I love these knives. Okay, so just going in the line I've just made. And then you can just lift that off. And then just touch up where, do it a little bit harder where you feel you see you need to. And look at that. Looks like precision, doesn't it? Gotta get one of these if you don't have one, a Stanley knife. They are my Amazon favorites. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. It looks lovely and neat. Looks like precision, doesn't it? Okay, so we will end up probably... I will end up distressing that, but there we go. So now we've got a nice flap there, and it's covered really nicely on the back, and as I said, you won't see the rest once I've finished with it. So we've got that all in place. Now what we need to do is we need to make a second flap, because this is going to go on here like that, and then I had another flap where this one goes to make it free and easy. All right, so this is also how we end up attaching this to the folio. Right, so let's move those to the side for the moment. Okay guys, I'm going to talk you through how to make the flap for this envelope that needs to go behind here, but in order for me to do that, I need to talk you through how to do the lining for the rest of the folio. So I've got the pieces here, and I'm going to talk you through that quickly. Now, first of all, to just get my folio back in play here for you, this bit over here, I hope you can see that, this bit over here, the way I did that was I took a piece of paper that fitted the complete area, and I lay it right over, over this bit here. I lined it up with that, the height I wanted it, and then as I came to this section here, the folio was longer. I then just marked the area that I needed to trim the corners. Now this one's a different size to this one because the folio is slightly different, and again, it's pointless me giving you dimensions, rather to show you what you need to do. So you need to cut a shape that's going to cover that area completely, and take it up to that corner there. And then what I did was I added almost the width of the actual section here. So I didn't take it to the fold line. I've made it just short of that fold line. So I've cut a piece out here that is this entire inner lining page, I've made a fold, which is this fold here, and I've extended it to almost the length of the sort of spine area. So that is the piece that you're going to need. And then what I've done is on this side, to make this piece over here, which you'll need, I have then just measured from that fold line for the journal bit. So there you've got a fold line there. That piece goes right up to the edge and right up to the fold line here. All right, so just short, just inside of it. Okay, you don't want to make it longer than the fold line. Go up to the left hand side of it there and up to the right hand side of those fold lines. So if I go like that, you're looking at just over there and just over there, so that it's not going to cause a problem when it comes to the fold line and make bulk. All right, so that you need to do as well. Okay, so that's all you need to know as far as that's concerned. So you'll end up with a piece to fit your folio like this, which is what the one I've just shown you. You're going to end up with a piece that's going to be the inside of your flap, and then again an extra bit up to the next fold line. All right, so that'll end up going like this. Yeah. And the other fold line would be here, which you're not going to see. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a piece, show you how I make a piece just from that fold line. So just on the inside, the right hand side of this fold line, and it's going to go right up to here. We're going to put a fold line in it, and we're going to make another flap that's going to go behind this fold line here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. One little watch point that you need to remember is, whatever you do, just make sure that these are all the same length there and there, so that it's a continuous thing and it looks all neat and precision like. All right, so I needed to tell you how to do those so that you will be able to make this bit we're going to do together now. All right, so I'll let you do that as well for your homework. And then let's have a look then at this other piece. So what you need to do here is grab the flap bit, so this first inner flap bit, and what I did was I measured it here with my paper. So you're taking it just for the height, that side and that side, and you're drawing a line here. Okay, then I measured the actual valley here, so this bit over there, so you want to know how wide that is. Make it slightly shorter because you want to avoid the crease, the fold lines. So I have done that. So I know that it was there and there. Okay, I've made little marks, so I've done that there and there. And then what I've done is I've got my bone folder here, and I'm just going to run that across there like that. All right, then I'm going to take, I know this is all very complicated, but it is complicated. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Then I measured 1.5 inches from that fold line to the next line, so it's slightly longer than the other envelope flap. Now 1.5 inches in centimeters is about 4 centimeters. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's a bit longer, that's all right. Now what I'm going to do is I just want to cut this bit out. So that's the top, that's the edge that I'm happy with. So I've drawn a line here now, which is my 1.5 inch line. Okay, and in actual fact you can just cut that line as well. Right, so we've got that there, and you can take your flap back. This should be the same height there and there, which it is. Okay, so I'm just looking at the width of it. Okay, now what we need to do is let's fold this quickly. So I've got my crease line here, I'm just running my finger along it. I'm going to then just do that. Okay, There we go. Great. And now what I want to do is I want to cover the back side of this. This is going to be where your spine is, and we're going to use that, and I'll reinforce that in a minute, but I want to cover this. I don't want this here. I could have printed it, but I want the strength on the paper, so I'm going to put another piece of paper. I won't take it. I'll take it just before the actual crease line here. I don't want anything to hamper that crease line. So I'm going to just see if this will be good enough. Hopefully it is. It is. So we can just measure the length here. Okay, so on this side here, which will be like this, this is the piece that's going to line this bit here. So before we round off the corners, we can quickly just stick this down. There we go. You can see that it's just short of my fold line there, which is great. I'll just move that up there. Okay. Right, so that's going to take away the whiteness on the under flap, and also it's going to give this a little bit more strength. So it's feeling much nicer now. So what I want to do now is just going to take my edge here. I just want to get the edges the same. So I am just taking that up there and running my pencil along it. And a bit on this side as well. So it's just to try and emanate the same sort of look. It won't be the same exactly, but there we go. We're just working it out as we go. There we go. So we've just got that same sort of a look over here. Right, now what we want to do is we want to we're going to rest this in here in a minute, but before I do that, what I want to do is and it is slightly longer because this is slightly longer. Okay, just making sure that is the right height. Okay, so that's great. And now what I'm going to do is I want to just cut a piece of card, scrap card. Yes, I've got some card. It's like 300 GSM, or probably, I'm not sure what that is in the US, but just going to measure a piece to go on the underside here. So just taking this. This is just for reinforcement, nothing more. So we want that there. And as I said, avoid the fold lines. So I hope this is not too complicated for everybody and that I'm explaining myself clear enough. I know I've got things in my head, so I'm trying to make it step by step as possible. So I hope that is working. Let's just hope it is. All right, so I'm going to stick this card on. Quickly, like that. Just put this little bit on. That's going to really just enforce our spine. And as I said, stay away from the fold line as far as possible. So, you know, match it up there. It's got a bit of a gap, but that's absolutely fine. We want this to be, the fold line to be as free and easy as possible. Okay, so there we go there. Right, now what I'm going to do quickly is I just want to ink up the edges here on that side, there, and on that side, and then I'll be back with you just in a sec. Okay everyone, so I have now inked around the various sides on both sides, and this one as well. So I've done that on both sides as well. Just a light inking just to seal off everything there. So what I want to do now is I want to attach this to this piece here. Now where I'm going to actually do that is I'm going to find the middle part of this section here. So I think it's about 1 inch for mine. Check yours, and I'm not measuring it, I'm going to just gauge it. I'm looking for the middle, so for me the middle looks about here, and so I'm just going to gauge it. If you want to measure it, go right ahead, just look for the middle point on yours. Okay, so that's sort of where I want it. I'm going to draw a very light pencil line there. Pencil you can always rub out if you want to, you won't probably need to, but that's just so that I've got a thin line marked off there. Okay, so that's where I intend to place this. So when I have it up like this, it's not going to go in the groove like that, it's going to lie in line with that pencil, this line here with that line there. So that's going to be there like that, and I can actually put one of my little clips on there. And I'm going to do the same with the bottom here. Okay, now I know it's further away at this point, but that doesn't matter, we're not gluing it. All right, so that just shows you've got this little bit extending here, but what I'm going to do now is it just helps me to see where this fold line is at the top here. All right, so I can see from mine that when I bend that back, the fold line is just there, and I'm going to draw a little line over there, and the same here. It's probably easier this side because we take that off and we're matching that little mark up to that mark there like that, and we can see that the what am I doing? this line here matches that line there, and this fold line there matches this fold line there. Okay, so that's what we just needed to ascertain for a moment. Okay, so you can take your clip off now, and now what we see is we've got wrong bit. We've got these two little marks here. We just want to put a bit of a score line down there just so that it to help bend this, which is very stiff from all those envelope flaps. So the easiest way to do that is probably this way. Okay, so I'm just going to run my scorer down here. Okay, so now you can see hopefully that I've got a score line mark running down there. Okay, now it's just for me to give it some pliability. You're going to need to do this. Alright, so I'm just running my fingers in there and sort of giving it a bit of pliability because it's going to be on this fold line here like that. So by doing that, we get a bit of a bend mark. Okay, so there we go, it's just slightly bent like that. Okay, you can do it even more if you want. And it's best to do this before you actually put this together. I did learn the hard way. So yeah, nice and strong this is. Yeah, okay, so we've got that all sorted. It'll do its own thing. What I want to do now is I want to attach this to this. Now again, you're going to match up those little marks to the fold lines there, but this is slightly longer, so what you need to do is try and use your clips. Hopefully these will go that far. It can go up a bit, I think. Got a little bit too far down on this side, so I'm just sort of lining that up there and there, a little bit more there. Okie dokie. Right, so you're just matching up the two marks there, there, and there, and we want to just put one of our you see, Keep still. We want that on over there. You might want to put another one. Well, we'll get to that one at the end. Let's match. Those are perfectly matched. So before they decide to move, I'm going to stick this down. Now, you could stick glue between those two if you wanted. Run glue down there. You could stitch it by hand and do a 5-point panther stitch if you wanted to. I'm going to sew down here. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. So there are different options, but for me, I definitely want to sew. Now I'm going to be sewing where that mark is, so I'm going to try and get it as close to this edge over here where I'm pointing with the pencil nib as I possibly can. I'm going to use the longest running stitch on my sewing machine that I have. All right, so I'm going to do that quickly and I will show you what it looks like when I return. Okay everyone, so you can see, hopefully if I bring this up closer, that I've managed to get a stitch pretty close to the edge there, and it's quite a long stitch, so it was the longest on my machine. All right, so that is now stuck down. So that is now how I bound it to this piece here. Okay, and now we've got our flaps there. You can see the one and the other, and that will be stuck down, so everything is looking pretty sorted there. All right, so you could stick down that bit over there or use double-sided tape. That could probably work. I haven't tried it, but I'm sure it could possibly work. But for me, I thought it was just easier using my machine. I do understand that everyone has a machine, but 5 pamphlet stitch would also work there as well. Okay, so there we go. We've had that ready to go into our folder. Okay, so this is nice and dry now, our cover. And you do get a couple of bubbling and things if you do get that. What I've done here, and this eliminates a lot of it, is just to open up your folio. Sorry, lost for words already. And then I lie it this way round. All right. And then what I did was I put it down on a tea towel, and I took another tea towel and put one layer and put my iron on hot, not steaming, just hot, the 3 dots. And then I just ironed over it, and it takes out most of that. So makes it nice and smooth. So that's what I do there. All right, so you're not going to get out every single bubble, but it does take out most of it, and it looks pretty good to me. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to get to sticking in the envelope bit, but unfortunately there are steps involved before that we need to do. So if you're going to put any decoration on the cover, so something like a metal book plate, you need to put that on. Thank you, Abby. You need to put that on before you put on the inside covers. All right, so what we're going to have to do quickly is, I'm just going to show you how I do that. Okay, so we're going to make the plate for the book plate. So what I do is I take a piece of my tea stained paper, and I'm going to use my little clickable letters that I've put into the journal word. These you can get on my Amazon favorite tools list if you want to look at these, along with my archival ink. I like the brown. This is potting soil. So what you want to do is you want to get a good dabbing of your ink and stamp your stamp in the middle of your paper like that. And if you're happy with that, you know, if you're not, you can do it again. All right, probably that one's better, maybe that one. Let's try this side. And when you've got one that you're happy with, and these are just scraps, so I'm not really worried. Okay, so we'll use that one. Happy with that now. I'm going to stop messing about. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to place my plate and centralize it how I want it, and take my pencil and run the pencil as far as I can get inside that, like that. Okay, So then what we're going to do is we're going to cut just slightly larger than that. Here we go. So we've got our little insert to go in there like that. Okay. Oh, the leads came out. I wondered what that was. Not to worry. Right, now I'm going to take my little art glitter glue here. And I'm going to put some glue onto the inside of my paper here. So I'm going to run the glue just on the edge there, like this. It's just going to sort of keep it in place, like that. Then I'm going to, yeah, this side probably. Just going to get that centrally placed like that. There we go. Just pushing it in with my fingers around the edges here. Now it's you see, it's not working. It will work. Let's just try that again. Oh, there, it's stuck now. All right, that's enough. I think that's, I just want to sort of get it to stay where we want it, and that's where I want it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just put some more glue on this paper, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue just on the metal. Just in some places I am going to put little brads in between, but I just want to have it holding in place on my journal page, all right, or cover I should say. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the cover like this, and hopefully the little plate thing doesn't come out. Let's see. And then we want to get that where we want it. So pretty much think that's where I want it. And then that's going to just hold it in place. And you want to just make sure that that is looking about right. Yeah, I think that's looking about right. So we can just press it and our paper like that. Right, so while that's drying there for a sec, what we want to do now is I'm going to get my pokey tool out and my little scrap of sponge, and then just going to put this underneath here, and I'm going to just put my pokey tool right through the cover on through the two holes like that. And then I've got my little tiny brads that come with this plate. I'm going to just put those in there as well, like that. Okay, so there we go. That plate's going nowhere now. Alright, so there we have it. That's in place. Happy with that. Okay, so we've got that bit done. Now what we want to do quickly, that can go away, as can that. Right, what we want to do now is I want to stick on some of the ribbon, because once that we do the inside covers, if you're going to do ribbon, you need to be doing it now. So right, now you just want to grab the two ends here, and you want to, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I am now just getting that onto the area that I want, just checking where my folds are, like that, and then of course pulling it so it's nice and straight. There we go. And then that will go around like that. Okay, so you can just rub it down like that, and then put some glue on the inside here if you haven't already. Okay, now this side doesn't have to be that neat because of course you will be covering it, but you want to get it as flat as possible. Alright, so I'm really trying to get that nice and flat there, and putting lots of glue on this side as well. Okay. Okay, so we want to do that to both sides, so I'll do the other one quickly and speed this up. And I just love how that looks there. It just adds to the French, the velvet does. If you don't have this kind of ribbon, you can use a normal lace that's the same width, and then stick the velvet ribbon over. That would work as well if you've got just velvet ribbon or you can't find this kind of thing. So I'm going to do the same here now. Alright, so I've got that all sorted. Now what I want to do is, again, I just like to cover up these. I don't want them piercing through the paper, so I do like to just put a little bit of this masking tape over these little spikes here. So we will just do that again. Gosh, I've got so many things sticking all over my hands here. Right, so just a little bit there, and this is just me being overly cautious, as I am. Okay. Okay, there we go. You could use washi tape to do that as well. All right. Okay, sorry I've got glue all over my hands. I have a great time peeling that off later. Right, so let's get going now and start with putting in what we want to do here on this side. Right, so the first thing you're going to need is this piece. This piece here, this is going to fit nicely, as you can see over there. Okay, it will stick down across there as well, and as you can see, it's not quite up to the fold line, which is over there. Okay, so you can see how I've cut that to cover that bit, and we talked about this earlier. Right, so that'll fit into the fold, and when you glue it down, you want to start to make sure that that's in the fold up front. Okay, so that's how we'll stick it down, and then we've got that piece that we have got ready. So I'm going to get going with that, so just watch as I do it. I'll speed this up a bit. Okay, so I've glued that there. So again, I'm going to fold this bit up like that. I want to get this central here and here. Just want to check. Right, so once I've got that there, I want to be tucking this in gently with my nail. And then I'm able to do the rest of it here like that. So looking for my bone folder, and I'm going to just gently tuck that into the crease over there. Okay, I'm not using the point here, it'll make a hole if you press that too hard. So I'm just using the side of the bone folder, so pressing it in but not giving a specific point of contact here. And now I'm just going to run my fingers along the edge here of the covering. Okay, I'll press that nicely down in the middle. Okay, so now you've avoided the other crease there. As you can see, it's just over there. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, so we've got that done. Now what we want to do is stick down this piece. So let's go and do that. All right, so I'm just making sure everything's nicely done. Right, now we want to stick down this piece, which I explained to you how to do earlier. You want to be missing again this crease here and this crease here. So it needs to be slightly, ever so slightly, shorter, so we want to just see where that is. We also want to make sure that we line it up with this line and this line. Okay, so that's going to slot in just like that. Okay, so we're going to stick it down like that. The way I've got it now seems pretty perfect. Just making sure before I stick it down. Now, when I put this in on this occasion, I will not be sticking down a good inch on that side because I need to tuck something in there. All right, so I'm just making sure I've got it all sorted now. So if I put my little clips on the top here, one at the top, one at the bottom. These clips are amazing. Right, so I just want to line this up now and make sure that I'm on track. So if I look at my bend line here and over there, let's just fold that like that and fold that like that. There we go. So there's that one there. And then I do the same on the bottom, and that's lined up nicely. That looks better. Now if I close it all up, it's very fiddly, ladies. I am sorry about that. Right, so this one needs to move just a little bit over. Just making sure I've got it all right. Okay, and that looks better. Okay, so it's like lining a box really. Okay, that's how you can check. And then remember, leave about an inch unglued from that side. So we'll glue this side down. So let's just double check. Yeah, that's looking about right. Yeah. Okay, so we've got that bit down. And I'll just do a bit more. Okay, so we're not going to the end now. Leave this flap loose. Okay, so we've got an inch from the end that we have not stuck down. Okay, all good. We'll deal with that when we get to that side. Normally I would do this at the end, the very end, but just so I can appease everybody. Right, now we're ready to put in this side here. So you remember we've stitched it to our flap over there, and you've got this other flap which we'll attach envelopes to in a minute. Just want to grab one of these little clips. You can be using paper clips if you don't have these. They are so handy. Right, so what I want to do is I want to stick this now over the bit over here. So we are going to be sticking this edge here just before the right of that fold line, and then the other bit will end up covering that bit there. All right, so you're going to fit the cardboardy bit into your fold, I don't know what you call this, like your spine bit over there. Right, losing the words today and the will to live, I think. All right, now you could use double-sided tape for this, but it's not forgiving. You have one opportunity, and if you get it wrong, well, you've got to rip it off. So I'm going with a 3-in-1 because I have a few minutes movability time here, and I need that. So just to make sure I've got it exactly right. So I'm going with a 3-in-1 beacon. So fingers crossed, girls, that this is going to work. So sorry. Okay, so we've got the glue there now. Now we want to hold this bit up a bit. And the moment of truth now. So sorry for the messing about, but so we get it over there like that. I'm happy with that. Yeah. And then we get it over here like that as well. Now what you want to do is you want to take these clips, clip it down, and the same on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to clip that down there like that, and then just want to get two more. If you've got bulldog clips, those could work, but these are just so great because they're narrow and you can do it in small spaces. So I'm going to leave that to dry for a bit, and then we will come back here in a few minutes when that has set. All right. Okay, so I'm back. I've just removed these little clips here. You can see that it's nicely flattened and nicely stuck down, that side as well. Yeah. So you want to just run your finger underneath there like that, and the side as well like that. Okay, so that's now pretty much in there. Okay, so there we go. You've got these bits all ready to decorate like that, and you've got your two flaps which we are now going to attach our envelopes to. All right, so all I did here was attach the two envelopes. So I wanted them to be on separate flaps, just so that it'd give you, you know, I don't want them overlapping like that. So what I did here was just put on some glue there, stuck it on there, and stuck that one on there. All right, so just be mindful of how far up you want to glue. Make a little mark, and then you could put double-sided tape on that as well, one that way and then one on the underside as well. Okay, and I'll have that stuck down, instead of you watching me glue, I'll have that stuck down when you come back again. Now, as I said, we've still got this piece that's loose here. We will be tackling this side in the next episode, and then we will finish that off once we've completed everything there. All right, everyone, so I do want to say thank you so much. This is probably a bit of a long episode, but I hope that you are managing to keep up and understood everything that I have gone through today. It's quite a lot, so carry on getting the rest of your ephemera together, and you know, we will finish off at the very end. I'll do a short video on how I filled up everything, probably speed it up as well. Okay, so thank you guys. Lovely that you've joined me as always. I hope you're getting really excited. We're not far from the end now, and I'll see you guys in the very next episode, episode 3. So thank you, and bye-bye.